Hi everybody, my name is Melissa and welcome to my channel. I am doing a really exciting video, at least I think so. I have actually done one of these previously several years back. I know that they are still very popular, and this is reading Booktubers' favorite books. So what I did was I scoured Booktube. I watched so many different 2024 favorites videos, and I literally have like several pages of like favorite books with different content creators, and some of those books are ones that I actually have on my shelves currently, and I thought, what a better way to get my physical TBR down by giving myself a little bit of a challenge. So the very first booktuber that I am going to be reading from their favorites video, and that is Riley from Riley Marie. I adore her channel. I love her content. She always finds these amazing, wonderful books, and I was like, when I saw this video and I saw the book that she pulled up and she described it, I knew I needed to read it. So the book that I am reading from her video is Iron Widow by, I think it's Zoran J. Zhao. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm so sorry. This is I believe it's a young adult fantasy book. It is about a young girl who lives in this impoverished like village. It is very close to a lot of the fighting that happens, and the fighting that happens, it's really interesting because you have these things, they're like called celestials, and the people go, this reminds me of Pacific Rim. I think that's the name of the movie, where like two people, you have your yin and your yang, usually it is a male and a woman, and they get into this like metalled fighting thing. They're usually different animals, and they like create this big like robot, so it's like Transformers, whatever that movie was, and they go and fight these like alien beings that invaded their land. And this is a very feminist tale. It has a lot of very dark things that it touches on, but it has a polyamorous relationship. So when she said that, when Riley mentioned that poly relationship, I knew this was the book that I needed to pick up. So yes, very exciting. I cannot wait to see how this ends. And I do know that the second book, I think, is already out, because this came out quite a while ago. I think this came out, yeah, 2022. So yeah, the second book most definitely should be out. And if I do like it, maybe I'll pick up the next one. But I actually have to go and do some things, aka take my dog to the vet for his yearly checkup. But I did get a fun package, which I'll open with y'all a little bit later. So yeah, I cannot wait. I got some book mail in, and I'm really excited. Really excited. So anyways, let's get to reading, let's get to the events, let's get all the fun stuff. So bye. We've made it back home. I am now going to open up my Eternal Embers book box. I ended up purchasing, I think it was like 3 books that came with this. I was like, you know what, it's a really good price, I'm gonna grab them. So I decided to get this. I've never purchased anything from this book box, but I have seen a lot of their editions and they're absolutely gorgeous, so I can't wait to unbox this with you. Oh, that's so cute. Oh. Y'all, these are beautiful. So 3 books. We have Reckless by Elsie Silver. For some reason I thought this was the first one, but I am wrong. That is Flawless. I don't know why I kept thinking this was the first one, but it's so pretty. Then we have In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. So this is super cute. I think this is like a small town romance. I've seen it before, but I haven't heard too much about it. And then Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. Can I talk? This book, actually, I do have it on my shelves already, and I had wanted to read it last year. It was part of my 2024 book bingo, and I just never got to it. But this edition is so pretty. And then this is the back of In a Jam. Oh my gosh, look at that. Then the spine of Things We Never Got Over. That's so pretty. And then this is really the reason why I got it. Look. The quote on the back says, "I'd rather be reckless with you over and over again if it means ending up here." Oh, so cute. Okay, so I'm going to the plastic off of these, put them on my shelf, and get to reading, because that is what I need to be doing. I finished Iron Widow, and y'all, this book, like, I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it. I knew, I was like, okay, we have a polyamorous relationship, we have feminists, we have all this stuff, and I was like, okay, this could be good, this could be good. Y'all, I loved this. I found myself, when I wasn't reading this, I wanted to go and pick it back up and start reading it again. So yeah, I gave it 4 stars because I did guess the ending, like the twist at the end. I guessed it from like the very beginning, but that's okay. That's okay, you know, that's fine. But that means I don't know if I'm like so excited to pick up book 2, but needless to say, this book is about a young woman or young girl whose sister has basically been like sold into the army, and the sister becomes one of the yin and yang pilots and ends up dying, but doesn't end up dying in war like most of the girls do. She was murdered by her like fellow pilot that she went there to go support. So our main character is on the revenge plot, okay? She's like, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna kill this guy. Starts off with her and her guy friend, who she has known for years, like plucking her eyebrows, which I was like, same girl, same. She ends up getting there and craziness ensues. You have this world that is very patriarchal, and did I say that right? Patriarchal. Anyways, men obviously have the higher place in society. Women are basically meant to be wives, mothers, and subservient to the men, and the men are the ones that hold all the power in any type of dynamic. I loved the 2 guy characters that she was with, both having their own relationship and the relationship with her. It is only one point of view, so you don't really see a relationship form between the 2 males, but you see it from her eyes. And I love how our female main character, she is just like so very strong and like hard that she doesn't have a lot of like softness to her, and it's really interesting to see that and her accept that and know that, and you know, acquiesce and knowing that her other partner has that, which I was like, oh my gosh, like this is truly a triangle. And they make like, she makes like triangle signals with her hands all the time, like, hey, this is okay, we're a triangle, triangles are the strongest shape. And I just loved it. So again, I gave it 4 stars just because I did guess the ending. Otherwise I feel like this would have been 5 stars, but I just had so much fun. I had so much fun. So Riley really knew what she was talking about when she recommended this book, and I saw she obviously gave it 5 stars, which yes. Second booktuber that I am going to choose from their best books of 2024 is going to be Jess from Peace Love Books. So I love Jess. Like, she is just like the reason why I actually started talking about romance books on my channel. I watched her channel, I loved it. I just like took a lot of strength from that and talking about romance books on the internet, which back then like really wasn't heard of. There weren't too many like romance centered booktubers out there, and she was like one of the first and one of the most amazing people. So I was just like, absolutely, I need to read one of her best books, and that is going to be Unsteady by Peyton Corinne. And I do know the second book recently came out. So this is about a male hockey player and female ice skater. I do know that this book is very much more, is a lot deeper than just a typical sports romance. Our female main character is like trying to get custody of her siblings, and our male main character, he had some sort of accident on the hockey rink and kind of has like PTSD. I think they meet when he's having a panic attack. At least that's what it says on the back. So I haven't picked this one up yet, but I really wanted to. I ended up picking this book up because of her recommendation. So I had it on my shelves and I was like, let's do this video so I can finally read this. So again, Unsteady, and yeah, I am really excited to get into it. It's not too long, so hopefully we can get through it quite quickly. And if I do like it, maybe I'll even annotate as well, like I did with Iron Widow, which I've been loving annotating books this year. So let's get to reading Unsteady. I adore when there's a playlist in a book. There are 2 pages of a playlist. Holy guacamole. Love that. I have a couple reading updates that I want to discuss quickly before I have to get into work, but I have updates for Unsteady by Peyton Corinne. This book, y'all, I flew through this. If I didn't have to like sleep in the middle of the night, I would have finished this in one whole sitting. I literally read this in less than 24 hours. It was so good. This is a sports romance with a female figure skater and a male hockey player in college. Our female main character, she is basically like, 1, the breadwinner of the family, 2, Like, she has to take care of her 2 younger brothers because her father is kind of this deadbeat and just not a good father after his wife or mother of his children ended up like leaving him. He kind of like broke down from there and was a drunk. So then we have Reese, who is the male main character, and he suffered a very big injury when playing in a game of hockey, and since then he's been having trouble, you know, getting back on the ice, having this like PTSD from that accident, which landed him in the hospital and all these things, which is understandable. So one day she is at the ice rink early to practice, and he is there on the ice having a panic attack, and she goes there, helps him out through said panic attack, and then they kind of form this friendship, you know, through using this time on the ice together, through music, and helping each other through some really tough times that each other are having. And this book, like, I did go in and I annotated. I just need to put the tabs in actually, because I just was like reading it so quickly. I just had my pen and was going, and like, I heard someone kind of talk about this book as like very close to Binding 13, and it did have some of those elements. It was very heavy like that. It had very similar topics, very similar vibe in that way, and I can definitely see that. 5 stars. So good. The third book that I ended up picking up for this Booktubers favorite books of 2024 is What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. This is a book that Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte read obviously last year and she loved. And when I heard that this book was compared to The Mummy, I knew I had to get my hands on it. So I ended up watching her many vlogs, her reading vlogs. I just love them so much. I love just putting them on. It's very comforting to watch. So when she read this and adored it, I was like, I need to get my hands on it. So I ended up picking up the Fairy Loot special edition, which just gorgeous, to be honest, and I'm glad that I'm really enjoying this book. I flew through the first 208 pages yesterday and probably could have just kept reading more, but I had to catch up with White Lotus. But yes, I am loving this. I will talk about this a little bit more, but I have to finish getting ready for work, so bye. Made it home after work. My goodness, I am just a hot mess. I literally just threw my hair up. It's definitely hair wash day, so please excuse that. It is now 5:30-ish, and I was able to get a little bit of a reading done during my lunch break. Not very much, but a little bit. So I am now on page 232 of What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez, and I can't remember what I talked about this book this morning because I was like half asleep. Okay, I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder and I look like a hot mess. Hold on. Okay, this didn't help at all, but okay, moving on. Now I just look like an egg. This book is like, when they say it was mummy coded, it is like The Mummy. It has scenes from The Mummy the movie, like arguments that happen between our main couple Inez and Wit. And so our main character Inez, her parents go missing, and she receives a letter from her uncle that he is now basically in charge of her estate, and she is very upset about this, obviously. Her parents spend most of their time in Egypt, basically searching for treasures and so on and so forth. In this world, there are magical, I guess, items that contain magic and can do different things, such as there's like this necktie that if you wring it, it will pour out hot water, and then when you flap it like that, it dries out. Different little trinkets have different magic, and she ends up going to Egypt, finding her uncle, and he tries to send her right back. She's trying to look for answers. Why were her parents in the desert by themselves, etc., etc., what was going on? So he does not want her there, and he's a bit suspicious because of his actions and the things that she finds out. And then we move on to her deciding that she's going to stay in Egypt and tag along on this expedition, and they are doing an excavation of like this island, and you know, all the things that are going on. So it is really interesting. I actually am loving our main character. She is feisty. She is dealing with grief. She is very much a young adult novel main character. She's very naive. It definitely comes across in this book, and she wants to trust people, but she knows she really shouldn't, and it kind of, you know, is the story from there. The love interest is Wit, who is the basically secretary to her uncle. He basically finds and gathers things that her uncle wants but doesn't want to do. So he's definitely a little shady. She knows she shouldn't trust him. He is British and he seems to come from a wealthy family. And yeah, so that's where we're at. I am just loving this. Like right now, as I'm reading it, this could be a 5-star book. So we'll see what happens with the remainder of it, but I am loving it. And I have my cozy faux fireplace and my ambiance on. I'm going to read a little bit, grab a snack, and hopefully get a lot of this read this evening, but crossing fingers, we shall see. It's a little bit later and I am on page 280 of What the River Knows, and all of these characters, I trust no one. No one. I'm like, you're the bad guy, you're the bad guy. Nope, nope, you are. Like, who can you trust? I don't know. I don't trust anyone. Poor girl Inez is truly going through it and having to deal with a lot of things to do with her conscience and if she's doing the right thing and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna continue reading, and yeah, I don't think I'm gonna finish it tonight though, but that's okay. Good morning. It is, what's today? Tuesday, and I have about 40 pages left of What the River Knows. I'm really loving this. Like, I probably could have finished this last night if I had stayed up a little bit later, but obviously I didn't. I needed sleep. So about 40 to 50 pages almost done with this, and I'm just really excited to see where this is going, because like there's so many different like avenues that the author could take this with, where I'm currently at in this moment in the book. And yes, I did guess the twist, like the, I don't know if it's like the big twist reveal. Yes, I did guess it, but that doesn't deter from my enjoyment of this book. It is a young adult book. It definitely has that young person mentality, the way that they think and the decisions that they make and how trusting that they are. It definitely comes across as a bit like exaggerated perhaps, but I'm loving it. You know, obviously we're taking it with a grain of salt. It is a fantasy book. I'm enjoying the fantasy elements of this book as well. I really like the idea that objects hold magic, and whenever you touch these magical objects, that magic will transfer onto you, or could. I don't know, I find it fascinating. I'm really enjoying it. So Olivia reads a latte. So far a win here. I do need to put my tabs into Unsteady as well, so I picked out these colorful tabs for this one. It's already underlined, but I just need to put the tabs in, maybe do a little bit of highlighting, etc, etc. So definitely gonna finish this today, and I will wrap this vlog up at that time. And yeah, I'm really excited. I think this has been very successful so far. It is the same day and I finally finished What the River Knows by Isabella Banez. I loved this book. Yes, it was a bit like cliche-ish, like the fact that our young protagonist, main character, words, she is very naive, she's very trusting, she wants to believe the best in people. Certain people she makes very harsh judgments on and keeps it that way, and like she just has her guard up to the wrong people, shall I say, which is part of the story. So the way this ended, I was like, oh my gosh, kind of thought that, but not really. But what's going on? Okay, so I am really interested to check out the second book and the final book in this duology. So yeah, that was really good. I just loved this. I flew through it. Like, it was so easy to read this book and just immerse myself in it, and I cannot wait. I really want to read the second one very soon before I forget what happens in this one. But to wrap up my reading of, I guess it was like mostly a weekend, so wrapping up my reading for the weekend, I think I did very well. So we have Iron Widow right here, which is Riley's recommendation, and I loved this. 4 stars. Fabulous. It left a little bit that I desired a little bit more, but I still really enjoyed myself. I did find it a bit difficult to wrap my head around the magic system and kind of what was going on, I ended up figuring it out. I did have to read a couple things, like paragraphs over again, be like, wait, I skimmed that too quickly. So I ended up giving this 4 stars, loved it. Am I going to continue on with the second one? Probably not. I have not heard the best things about the second book, but I still enjoyed it. The next book, Unsteady by Peyton Corinne. This is obviously Jess from Peace Love Books recommendation. Loved this one. I am surprised about how many tabs that I actually ended up with, and I really liked the going through it, just kind of like not tabbing while reading, because I just was able to thoroughly enjoy myself in this book and then go back and reread my favorite parts. Loved it. What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. I gave this book 5 stars. I just talked about it. So excited to continue on with some of these worlds and learn more from these fabulous creators, get more recommendations from them. That's it for today. So thank you so much if you watched till the end of this vlog. I thoroughly and truly appreciate it. If you've read any of these books or have any thoughts or opinions, I would love to chat about it and talk about it in the comments down below. And I hope you have a great day and happy reading. Bye.